Hey, what's up, everyone? We're gonna get started today. I'm like trying to figure this all out, guys. I like haven't been on here in so long. It's like, yes. So I wanted to get on here and talk about the boys, of course. This is one I couldn't miss. This case is what brought me onto YouTube. So of course I wasn't gonna be able to miss it. Um, Listening to it, being that we couldn't see it like we see all the other cases just online. I even made an oopsie in the beginning and like was playing it, and I think it was Jennifer was like, no, read the thing. And I was like, oh crap, because it got sent to me from someone else. I didn't know because I wouldn't jeopardize this case for nothing, any case of that matter. But with getting the verdict back, I mean, I wanted them to get convicted on all of it. But I'm happy that they at least got the main charge, which can give them all they need with that one charge. I'm happy they at least got that. I'm still trying to figure out how on one child, yeah, maybe the first one could be second degree because they don't really know. We don't have the bodies to see what happened to these children. And I feel like they're keeping that on their plate just so that they can have a little bit of leverage. And I'm wondering if that's even a possibility during sentencing time, if they get death or whatever, I'm not too sure if that's like something they can do with second degree. But like with capital, I know that's like, yeah. But since they're saying they didn't want to get caught with, now I'm gonna get their names mixed up. They didn't want to get caught for the first child that they, took their life. So when people were coming over, I believe it was, none of it made sense to me. That's the reason why they needed to kill the other child. To me, that's premeditated. So why couldn't they get first degree on that? But maybe because of who the witnesses are and their children, so that can kind of come back to haunt us later if we were to go for first degree and they don't get it because they say, oh, well, these are children. We can't rely on their story. We don't have the bodies to prove it. And then they get acquitted of that charge. We can't go back on it. At least they got the second degree. And if we do find the bodies, we still can throw that first degree on the table. I believe that's how it works since it hasn't been used yet. You can't do double jeopardy on that, I believe. And I know there's no time limit on murder. So, hey, how are you doing? So I wanted to bring this up really quickly. Hey, boo. Let's check this out. Layla, you're loud, mama. Here, let me turn mine off first. See, I'm telling you guys, I'm like trying to figure out how to work this because I haven't been on here that long. So here we go. Hey, what's up, guys? It's your girl Naomi, and I'm coming at you guys with another video. Yeah, I've been gone for a while, been taking care of a few things, but this is something that I just could not miss. Our big question and the answer that we get just brought tears immediate to my eyes when I heard
they're dead and they're murdered.
And for those of you guys that don't know, this is the case that got me doing YouTube in the first place, that got me really to bring myself forward and to speak on just the injustices in not only California, but all over the world. And just to hear those words for something that, I mean, we kind of already knew the answer to, but you don't want to finalize it. And this kind of finalizes it. I just, tears immediately came to my eyes, and like just talking, my voice got all shaky. it just brought reality all together. So here's a video I just want you guys to watch. It is the verdict. And I want to discuss this and tell me if you guys feel like this is justice for the boys or you think we should push for more. Take a look.
First count. We, the jury, impaneled to try the above entitled case, find the defendant, Trezell West, guilty of felony, to wit, murder in the second degree.
Did you guys see how he tried to look very serious, and you can tell that there's tears in his eyes. I don't know what they thought or how they thought they were even going to get away with this, like by telling the little boys, hey, they asked the opinion of the older child when the little boy, he came in the room before he went to class, which is homeschooling. And he's seen that the baby was not moving, not breathing. And he said the color was fading from his skin. So he was going pale. They asked him, should we tell? And if we do tell, it's a possibility, like guilt tripping this little boy. And I believe at the time he was 8 or 10. He's young. He's at least under 10 or under. And they're basically putting it on him. Like, if we tell, then you guys are going to get taken away from us. So we all need to be quiet, or else you guys can end up in a home, like them. I don't know if that's what they're saying, but if I see how my parents are treating some children that are in the system, I'm not going to want to go there. So I guess the night before this, they're saying that they don't like to hear the kids smacking their food. So instead of giving them solids, they'll take their food, put it in the food processor thingy, blend it up and give it to them in the bottle. That's disgusting. That is just disgusting. Let me see what you said, Jeanette. They camera tried them on Oren's part because he was a mistrial. Oh, okay. But wait a minute. We're going to watch some more of this. I thought that they did still get second degree on Oren as well, but not. We're going to look at that when it comes up, because I thought they got them on second degree with Oren as well, for Oren and Orson, because when we're going to see it in a second, when they put them in order, it says guilty on there. So maybe I looked at it wrong. They said almost like he did it. Wait, almost like the older child did it? Is that what you're saying? Let me add this back to the stream. Okay, let's get to finish watching this. And then we'll see if it is just for one or for all of them. I'm not sure. So here we go.
Of second-degree murder in the death of his 4-year-old adopted son, Oren West. Jacqueline's guilty verdict on the same charge was announced soon after. But there's a possibility this case is not over. The jury deadlocked on the second count of second-degree murder related to the death of their other child, 3-year-old Orson.
Okay,
that means the district attorney's office could retry the Wests on those unresolved counts. Trezell and Jacqueline West faced multiple charges in the disappearance of the boys. Among those charges, second-degree murder, even though no bodies were ever found. Also, willful cruelty to a child, involuntary manslaughter, conspiring to commit murder, and falsely reporting an emergency. Counts 1 through 3 apply to the older of their adopted boys, Oren. Counts 4 through 6 apply to Orson, who prosecutors argued was killed in a...
Okay, so you were right. Correct. So it is, let's see here. So it is, oh, I don't have my camera on. So it is counts 1 through 3 for the older child, Oren. So that's second degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, and willful cruelty to a child. Then counts 4 through 6. So they didn't, 4 through 6. So they didn't get falsely reporting an emergency, 4 through 6. I'm not sure. We're going to see right now. But I thought it was they didn't get the middle 2. And then after that, they got those we're going to see right now. But it probably one went to one child and one went to the other. I could be looking at that wrong, which that screen is going to pop up on this after. I was wrong. I meant to say retry on Orson. Okay. So then 4 through 6 is for Orson, which is the youngest one. That's so sad. I'm sure he was right there seeing when his older brother lost his life. And then just to know that that's your fate coming next and there's nothing you can do about it. These kids are going to go sit down and hush and be quiet and do whatever they're told. And it's just because these kids want to be kids and play. I don't understand it. You can't have a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, even my 7-year-old. He'll sit there for a little bit, but kids are gonna be kids. They're gonna get up. They're not gonna just sit there like they're in military. Hey, LaKendra, how are you? Hey, Zena. They're not going to just sit there. And that's what I think they wanted. They didn't want to take care of the children, but they wanted that extra $1,000 a month. That's what it was to me. They knew they already foster kids. Okay, yeah, you can give them back. We adopted them. That's our automatic $4,000 instead of letting these kids go to their mother. And I don't understand how they were even able to get adopted that quickly anyway. The mom was doing what she had to do to get her children back. I mean, there's so many reasons why they're saying that they took the children. We've heard that she's the one that broke his femur. She picked him up from daycare and his femur got broken over there. I don't believe, but who am I? I don't believe that she was abusing them. I don't believe that at all. Those kids look nice, healthy. We never know what goes on behind closed doors, but I know the treatment wouldn't have been nowhere close to this. And where were the people checking up on these children? Because just even in the pictures that they showed before, like this picture that they have of Orrin up there, he looks so malnourished. And when he went there, he had chubby cheeks. His brother in that picture still has some cheeks. And that's probably why I'm with the Orrin and the Orson, those names mix me up, even Classic and Sincere, since they're both C's. So I keep forgetting who to put with who. But whichever one it was that had the bottle, and I guess he drank all of the bottle, I think the other kid had some chunks of food or something that he was eating too. He hungry. They're not babies anymore. So that's why they told whichever child it was to punch their brother, biological brother. So to me, they had these kids in there going at each other. And these are brothers. These are blood brothers. I can't imagine what was going on in that house. And I can't wait for everything to come out where we can see where we can see everything. Hey, Michael. How are you? Let's finish up this video and we can continue to talk about it. All right, let me pop it up again.
A separate homicide after the death of his brother. Each parent is accused of murdering both children. On the first count of second-degree murder, the jury found Trezell and Jacqueline West both guilty of killing Orrin. The jury also returned a guilty verdict on count 2, involuntary manslaughter of Orrin. On the third count of willful cruelty to a child, the jury found Trezell and Jacqueline West guilty. But here's where the jury could not reach an agreement on 2 of those charges related to the younger boy, Orson. A mistrial was declared for count 4, conspiring to commit a murder, and another mistrial was declared for count 5, second-degree murder. For count 6 of willful cruelty to a child relating to Orson, the jury found Trezell and Jacqueline West guilty. And finally, count 7, false report of an emergency. The jury returning a verdict of guilty on that charge as well.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure. Well, I'm sure now, but so since there is a mistrial on, why'd this pop up here? Move. Since there is a mistrial on, let's see, there's a mistrial on conspiring to commit murder. I'm happy they left that at that, because to me, they still can get that for the second child. I don't know if they conspired or if just all of his injuries led up to his death on the older boys. Or if this was something sudden. I doubt it was sudden. I believe they were doing all of this crap within this house, and they didn't know it was going to lead to this little boy's death. And so when they took it too far, and now he's not breathing, the color has left his skin, as the older child testified to. Now they're like, oh crap, what are we going to do? They left him alive for a little bit, but the older boy says, yeah, I heard a loud sound, and then in the morning, he wasn't there. They asked him, what did he think it was? Oh, I thought it was like something falling in the bathtub, like some soap falling in the bathtub or something. He said he thought it was. So who knows how that little boy died? I really, 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 really want to find their bodies. I think when that happens, I'll be able to have some peace with this, because this case, it makes me hot. I get when they said the guilty and stuff like that, I was just a relief. But I'm still not satisfied until those babies can have a proper going home, because I believe that's what they were waiting for. They wanted to see their mother. They wanted a real going home to their actual biological mother. So since they can't have that, can they at least give us, and stop being selfish? Give all of us out here that cares for these children a proper sending home. I mean, we're not going to go there. Let's finish this up. So here, those are the reasons why they had that. And this is going too fast. Let's see. So on this one, I wanted to look at, okay, yeah, I am not muted. I thought I was muted. I wanted to look at the different types of murder and stuff like that. And so they're all under the category homicide. And then, oh my gosh, can you guys hear my dog? Is she loud? If she is, not bad. I could move her. She's too loud. She's chomping down on stuff. So they're all under this big umbrella under homicide. Any death of a human being committed by another is considered a homicide, period. That's what it is called. That's what's going to go on the death certificate, homicide. That's what it is. Then it can go under two different categories, whether it's premeditated or not premeditated. So if they premeditate this crime and they're like, oh, this is what we're going to do. That's why I don't know why they did not get, I don't know why they did not get first degree on the first child, because to me that was, I guess because they can probably come back and say, well, it wasn't premeditated. This was over some time, and then this happened. We didn't mean for this to happen. Yeah, we were doing this, but we weren't trying to kill him. So yeah, they could come back with that, but we would still have the second degree to go back on. But that's here nor there. They still got second degree. So with murder, you can get first, second, or third degree. I rarely hear people get third degree, and I'm just like, what would that be? And then we have not premeditated, which is manslaughter. We can have voluntary, involuntary, or vehicular manslaughter. So they got, I'm gonna have to move her, y'all. She's loud. Let me move myself back. So they got on the other children. They got, let's see. So it was involuntary manslaughter. So that's why I believe that was that, because they could have said they couldn't have got the second degree at all. They could have just got second degree or just an involuntary on that, because they could have said, you know what, like I just said, we didn't mean to kill him. This was not something we planned. But to me, if it's the reason why they didn't get conspiring is because they put, how can you put involuntary manslaughter and then put conspiring to murder? Those two charges don't go together. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Those two charges just don't go together. And I'm saying that because if you're saying this is involuntary manslaughter, you can't say we were conspiring to commit a murder if it was involuntary. Like, now if they got voluntary manslaughter and then conspiring, I could kind of see how you could put that together, but I can't involuntarily, like, I didn't mean to do that, and then we were conspiring to get it. That's why I believe the jury went, with a mistrial on it to where they couldn't agree, because some people would probably say, well, they kind of were on that level with the second one because they did conspire with the second one, to me. If they're saying we need to get rid of him because if we have people come over, you know what, I'm gonna drop the link because I want to know what you guys think if anybody wants to pop up. If someone comes over, what are we gonna say? What are we gonna tell them? Like, we don't have anything to tell them. If you want to pop up and discuss this with me, you can. The link is in the chat now. Don't you think that they could have got involuntary manslaughter on the first child and second degree on the first child, and then the second child, they could have got first degree, and they could have got voluntary manslaughter, and they could have got conspiring to commit a murder? I believe that could have been possible because that was planned, because they didn't want, how can they explain to their parents, or if her parents didn't know, or, people see them together. They know they're brothers. There's one here, but not the other one. Oh, he's going off to visit his cousins or his aunt, but they left one. That's not going to sound right. That's not going to be a plausible story to tell anybody. You couldn't tell me that, because I'm going to be like, well, why didn't they take them both? It's not like one is way older and they were taking them to like Six Flags or the club or something where the other one couldn't go. And that's why they took one. Like, it wouldn't have made sense. So they're like, what are we going to do with this child? Why couldn't you just let him live? Have one of your people watch him, or have one of the parents there watch it. Why did he have to lose his life because of y'all's accident on his brother? I don't understand that. Why did he have to lose his life because of your accident on his brother? So you just take his life? That's why, to me, they should have got first degree for the first child. But I think they were playing it safe. And I'm happy it was a mistrial, like I said, rather than they just throw up first degree and then it's out, So let's continue the video and we'll see what's next.
Jacqueline West guilty. And finally, count 7, false report of an emergency. The jury returning a verdict of guilty on that charge as well.
Okay, so there's some information that I wanted to read to you guys. So let me put it on that part about these different counts. Okay, so Let me pop back up here. Okay, so legally first-degree murder / felony murder. And I looked that up too because they have new felony murder now here in California. So I think I'll bring that up a little bit later. So we got like old and new felony murder. I'm like, what's this? This is new, but okay. Felony murder refers to premeditated killing of a human. Second-degree murder refers to unplanned intentional killings. Whereas third-degree murder, manslaughter. So I think when we were saying first, second, and third, just third is considered manslaughter. Third / manslaughter is unintentional, unplanned killing of a human. There is many gray areas, in these two areas, but typically it comes down to proving the intent of the person. Was this something they did with the outcome of wanting this individual to meet their demise? Or was this something that happened out of, kids playing and the gun goes off, or something along those lines, to where this is not something that was planned to happen. It kind of happened, but they didn't plan for it to happen. So let's go to the next one. Is it going? I don't want to click. Okay, there we go. So it says, quick take. Murder in the first degree is a capital offense, often meaning life in prison or execution. Normally, when I see people get capital murder, I never see them get like life, like 25 to life or 50 to life. I always see just life or death in prison. Then under that, I'll see like 50 to life, 40 to life, 25 to life, once we go to like first degree. And then you can get, death or not, whatever, just depending on what that person did and how severe their actions were. State law determines the difference between first and second and third degree murder. A pattern of domestic abuse leading to death constitutes for first degree murder in some states. This is what I was talking about with the first child and why I believe he could have got first degree, because that's domestic abuse. This is parents abusing children, and they could have upped the older child's charges to first degree, because this was, to me, a process over time of abuse, constant abuse, to where it led to his demise. So that's why I believe that the first one could have been first, the other child could have got second. And to me, they could have got voluntary, since they put those two charges on there. I don't know why, but I guess if one didn't stick, then they can go for the second one of just the manslaughter, because there's two different children. So I believe that's why there's both of those on there. So let's see, there's more to this. Yes. Okay. The next bulletin says murder in the third degree only exists in 3 states. I did not know that. I'm gonna have to look that up after this. I thought everybody had like a manslaughter. Wow. Okay. Murder in the third degree is only existent in 3 states. Involuntary manslaughter is a much more common charge. So I guess they're saying it's either you wanted to do it or you didn't. Like, it's either or. We don't got a first, second, and third. That's a first and a second and a capital. There is no statute of limitations on murder anywhere that I know. I think that's all across the board in the states. The Slayer rule disqualifies a murderer from inheriting property from the deceased. Why would they inherit property? Oh, probably if, say, like a husband and wife. And if the wife were to get killed by them, they wouldn't inherit that person's property because they are deceased because of that person. That's probably where I can see that comes from. Not all states use the terms first degree, second degree, and third degree murders. Some use murder in the first degree, second degree, or third degree, or other various variations of that. Oh, that bird is annoying. So now we're gonna, oh, here, let me pull up Jeanette. Hey, Net.
Hey, I'm not bubbly, right? You can hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. So what do you think about this?
I was so worried. Like
I know you were like, Naomi, I'm worried. I'm like,
Reality here.
uh-oh.
because
I'm like,
if the jury had come back with those just the lesser charges, they could have gotten out in like 4 years.
oh yeah, for sure. Well, yes, I'm gonna look up the time sentences. I didn't pull that up. That was what I need to pull up. Yeah, because go ahead.
I did want to tell you this because I learned this yesterday. I didn't know. The federal judge dismissed Ryan Dean's case.
Are you serious?
The civil case, yes. So that's a little bit frustrating for her. Like,
I'm frustrated. To me, they should be kissing her, but like anything, because it does not make sense how fast these children got adopted. It does not make sense.
because I was at first like thinking like some of the questions they weren't asking a lot. I was thinking like, you know what I mean? Could the county like throw a case because they don't want to be found guilty in civil court? But apparently the federal judge just completely dismissed the whole thing.
Completely. They didn't feel it met the qualifications to be in the federal courts or what?
I'm not sure if I don't know, but
I'm gonna have to look into that.
It more, but it's just,
Man, because I know she's hurt, man. Could you imagine, like, and you guys took my children from me for something that you guys didn't even look into properly?
civil rights were stomped on.
I do too.
I think, but
Completely.
I don't think that it's exclusive to her. I think it's something that does a lot with people.
Mhm.
I used to do foster care.
Oh, you did?
And yeah, I did. And a lot of times, like waiting in the visitor room, I would hear some of the moms like saying, like, I'm not really going to fight for my child back because the foster parent is providing a better home than I would provide. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes like it gets into people's head that they think they're not like good enough to parent their own children.
But I don't think that's what she was saying. I mean, to me, okay.
Not her. I'm just speaking
In general.
Yeah, widely system that it should be more encouraged, or like they should give parents more services to keep their children,
Support.
and services out to keep the children away.
Exactly. And I think with, what was going on with Ryan, since she was making an effort, I don't even believe there was enough time for her not to make an effort, like to where a judge would be like, we gave you this amount of time and you just have not done it. So I'm sick of it. To me, it didn't even come to that for them to be like, okay, yep, we're going to let them get adopted.
It's not even just that. It's not just that. Her child was not injured in her care. He was injured in babysitter's care.
Exactly. But was it that they couldn't prove it or what? Like what?
No,
I never got a full Claire,
I,
answer on that.
I think that they knew that he wasn't injured in her care. So instead of paying like the West $1,000 or $2,000 a month to keep their children, they should have been, to me, paying for daycare while she was at work.
Exactly.
Service, like, you know, offer her that service so she doesn't have to get somebody who might be unqualified and lose their temper. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But where were the people that go check up on the children at? Because if I walked in and seen, especially the older baby,
okay, so
yes, Michael, all these charges, yeah, we should at least know.
So
I have to ask you a question, Michael, if you do pop up here.
When they are, okay, foster care, when they're in there, when they are still a ward of the court, CPS does come once a month. CPS, or if it's not CPS, it will be the agency that places them. They will come once a month into your home. Once they are adopted, they no longer come. So what they did is they adopted them, so they no longer had that overseeing portion of it. Nobody was overseeing them anymore.
But I'm saying, why was it such a short period of time? Normally you hear people that are trying to adopt be like, oh, I can't wait till I can fully adopt. I can't wait, you know, till I can fully adopt. This was so quick. And I believe it's because, remember, I was talking to the lady that was dealing with Jacqueline at one of her jobs, where she was taking down their information and helping them get services for their children, and then wanted to use the lady for like as a reference. Jacqueline was trying to. Remember that? Okay.
Yeah. So like, I was wondering if she worked for a group home agency, if Jacqueline did, or her family. I thought that was some of the talk.
That's what I was going to say. I think that they had some type of hand in this, you know, industry, as I can say. Yes. And that's why they were able to get these children like that, since they knew that they were two parents that were providing amazingly for these boys and these children. And they didn't, to me, the reason why they didn't get girls was because they know that it was not going to be able to fly in no apartment like that. Because, you know, you can't put the boy and the girl in the same room, you know, and all that type of stuff. There's more rules to things like that. So that's why they're like, nope, we want boys, 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 and we want siblings. Because you get more money when you take in siblings. So they don't want to give these babies back. Yep, we got two. They're little. They can't go and talk and say anything because the other boys that they had before these ones that they gave back were older, and they were able to describe what was going on in this home. That's why they wanted to send them back.
Right.
And since they weren't adopted, they could do that. When Jacqueline seen these two kids, she was like, jackpot, they're young. They can't even, you know, speak out and talk like that. And plus, if they do, we can just be like, oh, I don't know, that's their imagination. And they wouldn't be able to speak up on whatever they had to deal with. So that's why I think that's why they were able to get these children that fast. And doesn't his mother work in the in that industry as well? Trezel's mother, Wanda?
That's what I thought.
Allegedly.
So do they have a daycare, right? So
they had a daycare. That's what they said. That place was on the corner, allegedly.
Right. So a daycare is licensed by the same people that license group homes and foster homes. So it's all under.
Is that in every city? Because I know there's different programs for different things.
It's all over California. So in California, there's a licensing agency, and it's the same people license group homes. I
can ask my mother, because my mother had a daycare, and I believe there was multiple different agencies for different things.
Well, I'm talking about California Community Care Licensing. They oversee group
CCC?
Homes. Yeah, they oversee group homes, daycares. They're the ones that would come in and like investigate if there was allegation, or even like, you know, check for that you're following all the laws.
Because I know we have like programs out here like CDC. I believe for daycare, I believe there's like a YMCA. They
It's
have
it's community care licensing, so you have to have.
CDC. They have a lot of different programs for different things.
So if you
So
go to a daycare, like if you walk into a daycare, you'll see paperwork posted, and
mhm.
they require that same sort of paperwork to be posted, even when you're a foster parent, when you have a daycare, all that, and it's the community care licensing is who you contact to complain.
I wonder if now, since we're at this stage, like all this crap we were going through in the beginning of people saying, "Oh, I seen them here. Oh, I seen them in a car. Oh, I seen this and I seen that." We're like, I don't know. Like, I'm wondering, did you really see him in a store? Did you really see them somewhere?
I was on one time, but you know what I mean? I was like, there's no way.
You thought you seen them?
At the post office.
Oh.
One time,
You're like, I found them.
like it was a mailbox place, and I was like,
Well,
that looked weird, but it, probably.
yeah. There is so much of that. And do you think that they're trying to use these babies, like the location of them, for sentencing time? Or like for if
So
on the
that's
smaller one.
That's what I was saying. Maybe if they get some sort of a deal, but they can't look. They can still try them for the youngest because they didn't get a conviction. So they could probably even upgrade those charges if they find him.
Right.
About how it really was. But with the oldest, they can't. I don't think they can do anything else with the oldest one because they did get a conviction.
Hi, Macmean. Yeah, but still, they could still give them life on that charge for the older one. So I'm not worried about that. The second degree is what we just got to take right now. Mm-hmm. They can still get high numbers on that.
Right.
So that's perfectly fine for me. Now, if they didn't give us that, I'm saying us like they're my kids. They're all of our children, okay? This has been an emotional roller coaster across the board for some time now. So since 2020.
Well,
so
they can get, I think, 15 to life. And they look at their past history, their past criminal history. So I don't know, like if I mean, I'm sure because of the publicity, they're going to land on life, but some
they better.
They don't.
I don't want to hear nothing to where they can get something shorter, because even though we don't have the babies, from the pictures they already show, and they think that was good enough to show us, you can only imagine what those children look like, because it wasn't even close to the time of when they said, "Oh, the kids are missing." Some months in between there. You know how drastically a person can change from the beginning of the month to the end of the month? So you could.
But I don't know. Are we with second degree? Are we talking about life with parole or without parole? Because if they can get parole, they can still be out in 15.
That's what I'm saying. 15 to life. I'm saying I just want to hear. Even if I hear a 50 to life, that'll be fine. Because I know you at least have to do 50.
Right.
Before you get that parole board.
And they would be.
And then in California, it's like whatever percent of your time, however they do it. I don't know how they do it.
Like I saw some film of her and she didn't cry, not even for herself.
Jacqueline?
Like, no emotion. She didn't even squint.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna show that right now. Like, Jacqueline, she did look at Trezell though. When the lady said life, you could see her go like this, like looking at him to see his face, and his eyes were watery. They got red, but he still went like this, and he was like, "Stop trying to play hard. Like you want to cry because you thought this little game, you was just trying to buy time because I don't know how you thought this was gonna work."
I wrote on somebody's thing. I think they should blend up their food and give it their prison.
The whole time they're in there. That
I
should be a
think
part
they
of
should
it.
blend up the prison food and put it in a bottle and only let them have that until they tell where the boys are.
Yeah, that's what you can
Just
have.
like-
We're gonna put you on solitary confinement, and we're gonna make up something. We got cops, we can make up anything. We're gonna put you on solitary confinement. We're gonna make up the fact that we think you're in danger, and we're gonna blend your food up. Or we don't want to have a blender every day. We're just gonna smash up all your stuff together, and we're gonna give it to you. All the
That's
sweet
how they
stuff,
were
everything.
feeding the boys. That's how they were feeding the boys that could eat solids. I think they should blend because they didn't like how they chew. I think
That's what I was gonna say. He could eat solids. They just didn't want to hear him smacking.
Right.
What kind of crap is that? That's like me giving my son chips. He's smacking them, so I'm gonna go put them in the blender with a little bit of water and blend it up and say, "Here's your chips."
I know it's like probably unconstitutional, but like I don't know. They could say anything to get away with it.
You know what? And when you in jail, they can make up whatever. They can make up something. They can fix it up for them. Both of them don't need to get it. For real, for real. All right, I'm gonna start playing this, but I'm gonna stop it because I know there's parts we're gonna want to talk about.
Okay.
All right. Oh, and McMean, we're talking about these two little boys right here. These are our Cal City boys. This is out here in California. These two little boys got taken away from their mother, their biological mom, put into a foster home, yet turned into adoption home, and they ended up killing these two. Supposedly, the older child was killed with all the abuse. The younger child, they just killed him because they didn't want to have to explain where the older child was. And here we are. So let's get to the rest of the other video.
Here, man, two little boys went missing. It didn't do enough to show that no one took them. It was wander off or dead.
There are glaring issues in this case that cannot be excused.
It's time for justice.
Where are the boys? It is a question that has haunted Kern County since December 21st, 2020, when two young brothers were reported missing out of California City. Thanks for joining us here on 17 News at Noon. I'm Elena Rusk.
And I'm Maddie Jansen. After just 2 days of deliberation, a verdict has been reached in one of the most closely watched trials in Kern County history. Trezell and Jacqueline West have been found guilty on one count of second-degree murder for the death of Orrin West. But the jury was deadlocked on the second count of second-degree murder related to the death of the other child, Orson. And so the judge declared a mistrial on 2 charges. Trezell and Jacqueline West will be sentenced on July 13th.
Oh, yeah. So with that, do you remember hearing this? That the jury said, I don't care how long you guys keep us in here, we are not going to come to the same agreement. Like, we're done. So that's why it took the 2 days, because they kept trying to see if they could come to an agreement. And I believe it was with that second-degree murder on the first child. And so they were like, at the end, they're like, look, we are not going to be able to come up with an agreement where we all agree. So that's why they had a mistrial.
Yeah, well, look, I think with the older child, they had an eyewitness to that, right? But with the baby, they don't. So maybe like, I've thought about it too. Maybe like some of them are holding out hope that they didn't actually kill him and gave him away or something. I think, So maybe that's why they couldn't come up with a verdict.
But I mean, with the older child, he's older, and nowadays with these children, they're pretty spiffy. Okay. So let me move this. She just came over here. I believe he knows what he's seen.
Right. And they definitely had that. Like he said, he saw his color change. he was told that if he said anything, he could get taken away.
Like
So they
when?
had that, but with the younger one, they were just like, I heard a thump and one day he just wasn't here. They didn't really have more of an explanation.
Proof.
Yeah.
That's why I said it could be probably second degree on him. And then why didn't no, wait a minute. Okay, yeah. So on the second one, they didn't say, they said no to the second degree murder. So, I mean, but they already, at least they got one child under that. Just killing one person can get you life.
Right.
So even if they don't say anything about the younger child, it'll be like, okay, if they give them life, you know? So we don't got to go back to another trial.
Mm-hmm.
Just give them life, and that can be okay for both of them. Life without parole, though. Because if they give them with parole, I'm going to be like, no, that's not going to work out. Not 2 children. It's not going to work. So let's finish hearing this, and I'll stop it when need.
Now, even 2 years after intense public scrutiny, we know very little about Trezell and Jacqueline West. Public records tell us Trezell Philip West is 36 years old. Jacqueline Gabrielle Vasquez West is 33. Prior to December 2020, they had no local arrest records. In the months after the boys were reported missing, there were dozens of searches and scores of prayer vigils for Orrin and Orson, but the Wests never went to those. There was even 3 social media posts by the extended West family praying for the boys' return, but none by Trezell and Jacqueline. A yearbook confirms Trezell was a 2004 graduate of Bakersfield High School. Immediately after Orrin and Orson went missing in 2020, authorities seized the other 4 boys who were living with Wests.
Before the conviction, Trezell and Jacqueline West were indicted by the Kern County grand jury. Little's known about those proceedings, but that's intentional. The Kern County grand jury is made up of 19 volunteers from the community. It's rarely used. Most of the time, prosecutors file charges directly, leading to a public preliminary hearing. But when they happen, a grand jury's proceedings are private. Witnesses can testify without fear of retaliation, and prosecutors can avoid tipping a defendant ready to flee the county. And ultimately, members of a grand jury have the power to bring an indictment. Defense attorneys are not present at grand jury proceedings. Their only information comes from the prosecution. That fact has led some to question the fairness of the process. The murder conviction came in the second degree. According to California law, a second-degree murder charge alleges a killing that is intentional but not premeditated, or a killing caused by reckless disregard for human life. The act typically doesn't have any kind of premeditation and may only have been intended to cause harm rather than death. It's punishable by a prison term of 15 years to life. First-degree murder, on the other hand, is defined as the unlawful killing of a human being or a fetus with malice aforethought.
Now, this verdict is just another chapter in the long and sad story of these missing boys. 17's Alex Fisher joins us with more on how we got to this point.
They are our children, and so we want them back.
A desperate plea just 4 days before Christmas. Trezell and Jacqueline West report 2 of their kids are missing. It's December 21st, 2020. The West claim 3-year-old Orson and 4-year-old Orrin had gone missing from the backyard of their home on the edge of the vast desert community of California City.
I came in the house, I saw them there. I went in the house, I came back out, I didn't see them there. I realized that I left the gate open and I panicked.
The couple called police later that night. Officers and neighbors rushed to the house and started looking for the boys, scouring yards and fields.
And that's all I want is to find my baby. Got in the van and I hit a bunch of corners. I went down this street, I turned my light on, I searched, I called their names.
The next day, the search turned into an investigation. Investigators went through the West home, taking large brown bags full of evidence. The family's van was towed. Their cell phones were seized. Police said the Wests were cooperating with the investigation, but authorities removed the family's 4 other sons to protective custody. The community prayed. They left presents. Family, friends, and strangers all clinging to hope.
We're looking for something to do. look some way that we could step up and do something with the community. And right now, the only thing that we can do is give gifts because they weren't able to get gifts on Christmas.
Police continued their search. They dug up vacant fields. They used ground-penetrating radar to search for bodies, but nothing.
What I do truly believe is that night, there is no way that they could have got out of that the neighborhood without some sort of assistance from an adult.
Police wouldn't say who that adult might have been, but a week later, the exhausted chief was more blunt.
I can't comment on that, whether I think they're alive or not. I do suspect foul play. We haven't been able to put together, how the boys got out of the yard or where they've gone.
4 months later, the Bakersfield Police Department took over the case. BPD said they had more resources than the 21-officer California City Police Department. After BPD got the case, investigators followed up on leads, some of them leading to massive searches.
I expect that there will be more searches. There's been numerous interviews, numerous search warrants, and that will continue until we know what happened.
Nothing was turning up. The community was getting worried, but still remained hopeful.
What will be found, they will be brought home.
Community contributions poured in to create a reward of more than...
To me, this is the only reason why they went to Cal City, was because they knew that Cal City does not have like how Bakersfield has. That's just going like to LA. They got a big, police presence. They know that California City is probably like 4 or 5 exits.
Yeah.
Of that's the city. Just like us going from here, California, going up to Arizona, there's only like 4 or 5 exits. And then you have, that little town, and then you go for a long time, and there's like another little town. So they thought, okay, we're gonna get a house in Cal City. This is how we're gonna fix this. We're gonna get a house in Cal City. We're gonna take all our kids there. We're gonna put some stuff in there. We're gonna, get some little DNA in there. So some stuff can be in there. But when they were saying, oh yeah, all the other kids are at their grandma's house and we have the 2 little ones here with us because, it'd be too many kids for them and they're also younger. So we had them on the patio while she was upstairs wrapping gifts. And I was in the backyard getting firewood, which are twigs, or even, what are those that we get in our backyard called, Jeanette? They're green and they grow. It's on 50 Goes West.
Shingling or whatever they use, the little pieces.
It's on my tip of my tongue. The rolling things. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, the bushes.
I can't think of the word.
Tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds, yes. You're out there in the back. We get a lot of those when it get hot, especially because over there, California is more desert area. They get a lot of them. They dry up so they can tumble, land somewhere else and start growing there. They tumble and land and keep growing. They leave drop seeds when they leave and they keep growing. That's how they keep going. So they thought, oh, we're in the desert. They'll never be able to track them here. Mm-hmm. So they waited a couple of days before Christmas. She's upstairs wrapping gifts. That's why she could not watch them. Because why else wouldn't she be able to watch them to why he's outside collecting wood? So They're like, okay, so they're discussing this. To me, this is what I'm visualizing. They're discussing this. Okay, so the reason why you can't watch them is because you're wrapping their gifts. Even though they're babies, they don't know nothing about this really. They're just going along with it. Okay, we're going to say that anyway. They can't see what we're wrapping, so that's why they couldn't be with the dad. Okay, but couldn't they be with the dad? Trezell, why couldn't they be with you? Why couldn't you watch them? Oh, because I was getting wood so we could burn some wood. It was cold outside. So that's why, so I could see them. I brought them out on the patio and they were playing with chalk while they were out on the patio. And when I took it inside and I came back out, they were gone.
It's all unbelievable.
It's all unbelievable. Like, it just does not make sense to me. And I'm like, I feel dumb for even searching. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel dumb for even acting like we were going to find something. Well, not for that we were going to find something. I thought we would be able to find something, but that we were searching for children that were not harmed. At the least, I thought we'll find a child that was probably harmed to where they wouldn't want. They could probably make a pact with, like, he could make a pact with his mom, Wanda, and that, like, your closest confidants that you know would probably not tell on you and be like, oh, let's nurse this bruise I accidentally did on an accident, or, you know, I punched my boyfriend in the eye and he can lie for me for, you know, or something like that, you know?
You know, like for me, at first, you know this, at first I didn't want to be like the one to have a rush to judgment.
Yes.
What if, you know, I don't know that area. What if, well, no, I do. I know Bakersfield more.
It's in between the both of us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that long stretch that you're going, and then when you turn off, like going
I
east,
just went by there when I went to take Cordell to a competition.
it's going east from us, right? Even though you're up for me, it still goes to the east. If we're looking map wise, it's east.
Yeah, like
okay, I'm
more northern than you are.
Yeah, you're northern, I'm southern, but it's going east. Whether you're going from our points or not, it's going east. So they drove in.
When she said I didn't search, we didn't search because the police told us to stay put and other people were searching.
Yeah, but when
I was yeah, like that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
What makes sense to you? Say it again.
When she said she wasn't searching because the police told her not to, I thought maybe that made sense. But whenever they had the following, like, vigils and stuff like that, and she's nowhere to be seen,
I wouldn't have even been at a vigil. If it was my child, I probably would have like stopped to be at a vigil. Okay, let me say I would have been at a vigil. But after that, I would have got to back looking. Like, I would not be able to sleep without having my little mans with me. I just would not. Like, and I don't care if you're tired. I'm dragging you, BZ, with me. And then my dude better drag up Trezone. And we gonna come. You gonna march with us. We gonna be looking together. We gonna give you a couple hours to sleep.
Well, there is another part.
A little bit to sleep, and we're gonna keep looking because you're not gonna stop. Before we even would have went to the cops, we're not gonna stop looking.
There was another part that really bothered me about the trial because I don't think they have.
I don't feel like this the DA. I don't feel like he was on it like he should have been.
I don't think they have everybody they should have behind bars for this.
No. Girl, no. So, they got a lot of innocent people back there, though, to me. I feel like in a case like this, it should be like certain assignments for people, like to talk to people.
Right.
You know, someone to talk to people in law enforcement, to Jackie and Trezell, that has been in a situation like theirs, to let them know, yeah, I feel you.
No,
we're getting a little upset.
So what I'm speaking of is Wanda West, her testimony was like she got into the van and had gone to the bank with them to get out money, but she didn't know if the boys were back there. Like, how do you get into a whole vehicle and not know whether or not other people are in the van, and babies at that are rambunctious, like Trezell says? How could you miss rambunctious boys and not know whether or not they were in the van?
Look, I don't believe that. And if she's saying that she thought the kids were somewhere else while he came, that's fine. But if she thought the kids were with him, but were in the back of what? In the car? Where did you think they were in the back of? Did he rent something to go get the money from her? Like, what was it? Because other than that, if he just went in the regular truck, that's a kid walking in, sitting in a chair. So how did you get this money? Was it, you know what I'm saying? Like, how was the money exchanged if you guys were watching or you were getting a kid. How is this transaction exchanged if there's no kid and there's no money, or vice versa, or I don't know. It just, all of it does not make sense to me. Because you would smell something, or, she's like, well, ask them, you guys will see the stuff that Wanda was saying. Yeah, we do see your son's a murderer. Well, now I don't gotta say allegedly no more. Your son has been convicted to be a murderer. He kills not people his age, children, babies at that. All right, Wanda. Great.
I don't know. I just have questions. I wonder if she was getting paid respite to watch those kids. And if she took respite money to watch the kids and billed for it when she didn't have those two boys that they would have gotten respite for, I think like there could be like a fraud case they could do.
I have a question. Do you think before that, I heard from a little bird on my shoulder that Trezell he was only the mother of Wanda, but not the father of her dude? Is that true?
Wait.
I heard so many different stuff within this case. I'm just like, I'm trying to land on.
Wait, you heard that Wanda was
Trezell is her child, yeah. But I'm just like,
child or isn't?
Is her son, but not the dad is not who she's with now.
Oh, I don't know anything about that. I just do know they let her testify over Zoom.
Girl, stop talking to me about that. I'm done. I'm leaving. Because I got mad at that. I'm like, this is a murder trial of two babies. You got her voluntarily doing this over Zoom? Yeah. No, she needs to be in here so we can look at her body language. We can see, what did you know, Wanda? Right. What was your plan in this? Don't be on a Zoom call. No, to me, there needs to be a law. If it has to do with murder, taking the life of another person, there can be
it really bugged me. It bothered me because there's people that
you did that on purpose. She brought that up on purpose. Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna go. You're like, and I'm like, no.
There's
I was mad at that.
Jail for not showing up to court. It just really bothered me. That really bothered me. I don't get it.
No, they needed to be there and sit and look at their son at the position he had them in. Even if it was, oh, I'm in the hospital. We got the things you could pull and have in the hospital. You're gonna be in here for 2 seconds, honey. Say what you need to say. You could be there and we could take you out the back. You could go back. You're on the bed. All of that stuff could be willed to you. You ain't hurt that bad. Will it to you. We could take it back. What you need. We got you, mama. Let's go. Because I want to see his face. I want to see their face during this whole trial and things, I want to see when you put your head. I want to see when you're looking. I want to see how you're looking at your child. Right. So if you're like trying to instill some fear in them, I want to see all that. So when they feel like they're uncomfortable, comfortable, what they are, freely saying what they feel like, I want to see that. I want to read some body language.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this version of this up, and then I'm gonna put it up. The stuff that we're watching in this video, I'm gonna cut out where I'm silent, not saying anything, so it can just play through.
Okay.
So I'll put that second part up, but I'm gonna keep this one as it is. It is how it is. Yes, Madam Oracle. Doesn't that make sense? I don't think I put the link in the chat for a minute. This is an open chat. I want to know how you guys feel about the verdict on this case with the little boys. Cal City boys, our Cal City boys, and what we see going on right now. We, the jury, want to see. Yes, we do want to see. I want to see everything, honestly. I know it's gonna, just like when I see, you know, certain crimes and I see the crime scene and something like this, to me, it's gonna solidify everything. I know it'll play back in my head and stuff like that. But to me, that's what it takes for me to close things completely out. Because when I'm just told it, it's like, you could tell me anything. I'm the type of person, I need to see proof. Otherwise, if I don't see something to where I could be like, okay, that's solid, I'm just kind of like, I'm here. Hi, boo. I got to go and set all my people back. Hi. I haven't been in a long time. They're sending me messages. I think Sherry, let me know, because I think Sherry was the only one left on blue when they sent me my thing on here. Jeanette, are you on blue or no?
I think
I don't know how many people got wrenches. I need to go. You are? Okay, cool.
My tablet has a wrench, but my real account, my other account doesn't.
Okay, but you're on blue?
On the tablet, yeah. But the one I'm up here on, I don't think it does.
Thanks, Sherry. Are you on blue, boo? Let me know if you're on blue. Because when I came back, a lot of people that I don't have a lot of people, and you know that, but our main people were not on blue because I haven't been on here in a long time, and I seen my YouTube and my StreamYard has lapsed because I hadn't been on here in a whole whatever when I was in class. But I'm about to go back to school. So, okay, she is on blue. So you can handle all that, right? Because it's only you. Ain't going to have no crazy stuff going on. Right? Sherry, you got me. And Net's in here. So anyway, I just was thinking, like, I do feel like, listen, when you have a son, a child, period, you're going to do whatever you can to protect that child. I believe that these are just allegedly in my thoughts, and we can go back and forth on it, whatever. I believe that Jacqueline, mother, knew, you know, they probably didn't come from here. They came from the border, and she knew she could trust her mom because, Mom, you're going to have to go over there if you agree. Because it sounds like they like that blackmailing and not letting you know, like, hey, like they did to their child. I believe she told her mother, and her mother knew. So she had her mom come over there and look around and see if her mom can say, okay, you got to fix this, you got to this is just me. Because when they say they did see a group of children going in the car, and the other ones like they never seen any kids, it's because they made that one trip to probably put, you know, prints everywhere like kids was there.
Well, look, it was said they had a whole bonfire in that backyard. And I'm still like
at the West.
Yeah,
you're talking about at the mom's West house, right? Not Cal City.
Yep, they said there was a whole bonfire back
there. Wait, not Cal City, right?
No, in Bakersfield.
Okay.
And that's always like, did they just like?
I think probably they did do that in the bonfire, but in Cal City, no. I probably think that they like tried to make it seem like the kids were there, or they were like in transitioning of moving there because of the kids, and it wasn't like a full.
They had some metal barrels that I saw in the back of the yard, and I wonder if there were more of those somewhere. Like I think they find them, and I don't know.
I think they will be able to find them. I don't think this is gonna be. I'm going to say max because we just found a girl that we're still, you know, putting through I'm saying we're like I'm helping, but I'm in it. That I'm following, you know, they're putting her through the FBI and stuff. And it's a case I've been following from younger. That's how long I've been in all of this stuff. From 2000, 2001. And it is the Diamond and her sister Bradley case. This is 20 and change years after, but they think they found Diamond.
Oh.
And she's like, because she was the younger one that they ended up keeping, she's like, I remember seeing my sister when we were in the car for a while, and she doesn't remember it after that. But she was only like 3. So she has some memory of it, but not fully. And they asked her, let me see on your head when they fully said it. And she just went exactly to it. So I'm thinking this is probably her because it's supposedly she got out of it. That's something we are going to be following here on this channel when it does fully come out. But it's just crazy how you can go missing for all these years and somebody can really have you. Once you're bound, and somebody has you there and they have at least one to where they can control you, it's like, what else can you do? You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to fight and fight through it because she's just now being able to come back from that. And I have been following this case. Dang.
You know, I wanted to mention to you also yesterday in Bakersfield, there was also another conviction.
Here we still haven't followed Jahi. Nobody can find him.
Well,
and that's another one I'm gonna be looking for him forever.
They did convict the guy that killed her daughter.
Whose daughter again? Whose daughter? Jeanette, can you hear me? I can't hear her. But what I was saying is Diamond and her sister, I'll bring that up at the end because it's bothering me. Like, I really do feel like, are you there, Jeanette?
Yeah, I got kicked off for a minute.
Okay, what'd you say?
So Desiree, they convicted her killer yesterday.
Her boyfriend?
No, I think it was a stranger. Yeah, I don't know all the details. I just know.
But in the back of, we'll talk after this because I got some things to say.
Yeah.
I don't want, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you threw me off with that part. They convicted him.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
Yes. Yesterday.
So,
the verdict came in at the same time
as the I'm sorry, but I had to be all into the boys. So I was clicking in and out to other stuff, but you know how you get caught and you're like, oh wait, I gotta listen, because some of them they don't let you listen to all of it. So you have to pick and choose. And so it's not that I'm trying to make favoritisms between anybody. It's just when it all comes out, it'll all be public information. And I don't mind going down to the county building and being like, hey, can I have the stuff from this? Okay, they're gonna charge me. I don't mind paying for it. So that part's okay. But
the streaming was not sufficient. It was kicking it off. I listened, and sometimes I could listen for 30 minutes. Sometimes
it cuts off. Yes, it was cutting me in and out. I was getting frustrated. But if I'm able to go buy the whole thing, even if I have to drive up to Cal City, I'm driving up there because I'm going to purchase it. I need to see everything.
It would be Bakersfield, I think. Yeah.
Bakersfield, not Cal City. Yeah, because they switched it over to Bakersfield. If I got to drive to Bakersfield, that's closer to me.
Right.
It's both closer than that. So I'll be willing to drive up there and get it for me because I do have a lot of things I want to look into and see. Because when they would cut me out, they always cut it out. Now I'm thinking it wasn't really cutting out on like good parts when I'm like really like, oh yeah. Right. I'm like, oh, it's off again. So I would try to go on another device. It was just like all over the place. I was just like, I feel like they had it set up to that. What does this say? I can't see. It's so smaller. Oh, wow. Yeah. This case has been very up and down and everywhere. So let's finish this video. I know we're going to end up pausing it because we're going to have something to say, but let's go.
Than $100,000. Prayer vigils were held. People gathered to ask God to return the boys safely. Trezell and Jacqueline never attended any. Then, a year later, a stunning development.
The investigation has revealed that Orrin and Orson West are deceased.
I just want to know at this part, even with that main Philister officer that we had the big long thing that he talked about everything with, how I want to know what this judge and everybody else knew to where they can say, we can say, we're in a courtroom. There's nothing else saying anything allegedly, this, that. We're not doing that. She's in a courtroom saying, we have proof that these children are not alive. We have proof that these children are deceased. So when she said that, I was like, ooh, heart drop, boom. What else? What's next? All right, let's go.
The investigation has also revealed that they died 3 months before their adoptive parents reported them missing.
Trezell and Jacqueline West were indicted by the grand jury on charges they murdered the boys. Hours.
Okay, so that's also what I'm tripping off of. So they didn't even give themselves enough time to even be around, with these kids being seen. They were that brazen, that trying to be manipulative to where they said, okay, yeah, we're going to call and we're going to make this up. But they were like, okay, we got to put a performance on for the cameras. So what Trezell did was he had put her because Jackie said, oh no, we were listening. We were listening for them. Girl, you was going to have me call you the other name. Girl, we seen on the video, you never came outside. You never stepped 1-2 feet outside to look for not near Chada. Hold on, my son, real quick.
Well, and that backyard doesn't look like, I know she's gone, but I'm saying it to everybody. The backyard didn't even look like anybody had been in it or raked it or I don't know.
Right. They said there were not one or a couple of children going this way, but not towards the gate. There were zero. There were no children. 6 Crown or 1-2, not even a 1-2, like a kid stepped on the dirt and popped back. Not even they won playing hopscotch in the back on 1 foot. There were no children feet print in the dirt, nowhere in their backyard at all. Not someone going in, not someone going out. I don't think she realized how much CCTV means nowadays. Because CCTV, we don't even need to see the print fence, no fence.
Well, the footprint in the dirt, like I think that Bakersfield, somebody that lives in Baker, I wish Jennifer was here to tell me. Up here, not far from Bakersfield.
Jennifer, if you in the building, pull up.
Some of the dirt is very hard. So,
and some of it could be soft. But if they can, for someone to tell me I didn't see any children feet print in the yard, I would think automatically they were able to see adult prints, but not children prints. If you come and tell me as an adult, I don't see any children prints, I'm gonna say, well, did you see any adult prints?
Right. Because
that will make sense. But if you've seen adult print, if you've seen baby prints, but no adult prints, you're like, okay, well, I ain't been back there. Then that will make sense. But we got to make 2 things come together for it to make sense.
Right.
Either you was back there and there was no kids back there. Is that why you try to say, oh, but yeah, I have them stay on the chalk. They didn't come in the yard. They stayed on the chalk. Okay, that's fine. So what are you saying? They picked up both kids and ran out? So we need to see that. We need to see the fast movement of the prints. They're going to put that all together. Or the big steps you were taking for the prints. But they're going to see that, So it's like, what story were you going to tell? Because after they see those prints going out, that front camera would have caught you tiptoeing, running fast out. They don't have any of that in the front of their house, seeing any of you guys coming in or out. But when the children, you went for only 6 months looking. I would not only look 6 months for my children to be out there and I'm not screaming frantically to where someone else is like, oh, y'all got to get down here. Y'all got to find this kid because she out here acting crazy.
Right.
Boom. So I don't believe any of it. They just try to do the motions for the children to set off different things, you know, just in case there was cameras looking. So you could say, yeah, look right here. This is when I stepped out. This is when I got back in the car. This is when I talked to the officer. Yeah, we see that, but we know it's only for a second or two.
No, he was definitely faking it. And then the way he drove Speedy down the street, who does that when
exactly
toddlers are out? Like when you
right, because you're going to be looking. What if they're crossing the street?
Right. When
you're going to be holding, you're going to be have the windows down so you can see.
Right. When you're driving into your neighborhood and you know kids are out, or you know there's toddlers in that area, you drive like even
super slow limit. Super slow. Back like the super creeping because you don't want them to come out with a ball.
Yeah.
Anytime I see a ball rolling the street, I just stomp on my brakes because I'm like, where's it coming from?
But he's just driving fast all the way down to the corner.
Both corner from one way, go around, corner, go around.
It's supposed to be in his mind that
for children,
toddlers are wandering the streets.
And then did you see when I think I'm gonna have to find it on here. Did you see when they went and did where they were showing how hard it pushes to push that gate out? It's not nothing that you could just slide it open. Like it's like it's dragging against the cement on one side, and it's like you gotta kind of push it up to like push it out. Those kids didn't do all of that and they didn't hear it.
Right.
It wasn't a slip through because he's like, oh yeah, I went out, but it was, you know, to the point where they couldn't slip. No, either the slip through and he would have been able to hear it because of how much you have to push on that, or the person that came to adopt or that came to take them would have had to push that. You would hear that gate because it wasn't like they just moved it like, no. They were pushing to open it so where you can hear them open up that back gate.
The whole story was unbelievable, and I'm glad they're going to be in prison for a while.
When I see Trezell, his heart dropped. You can see it. And he kind of had like a little, you know who I think the evil one in this is?
Her. And I do too.
I think it's her. I think it's her and her temper. Because she's the one, she's looking at him like, oh, like I got him into this. I believe he's still on some crap, but I believe that she's like, oh, I'm doing this for her, you know? Like,
well, and
I can see her being that girl that's like hot-headed.
The kids described it too, that she would give them a bear hug.
Yeah.
They described her being physical.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I see her as being more of the dominant one in the relationship. That's the word I was looking for. She's more dominant.
The testimony was going in and out, so I didn't hear them describe him as the physical one. I did hear the testimony where she was described as a physical person.
No, it was kind of the same then, I think.
Yeah.
You know, like she was more of the dominant one. You know, he's the one that want to go downstairs, put on some headphones, listen to some music, try to make some beats.
Right.
He was trying to be on that type tip, but it was too much for her. I think she's like, you know, since this is not her kids, she don't got too much passion for them. So she's like, you sit down. But she know that she can't get rid of them because she's looking at them as dollar signs.
Right.
That's what she's doing, you know? And I don't care how much money you give me. I might not take care of you, but if you had a little baby or a child, I'll take care of that child before I take care of you. Because to me, I feel like you could go out and figure something out.
It's not. Look, the foster care money is supposed to be reimbursement.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really, if you're providing for the children, you don't.
Wait, what does that mean? Reimbursement? Is it reimbursed out of a certain much? Like if you use up theirs and you start using up stuff you got?
Well, look,
saving that you have, do they reimburse that or what?
well, look, the number is based on, they see when you have an extra body in the house, your food bill goes up, your light bill goes up. They're reimbursing you for that, but you have to be able to maintain your household without that money. So they come to that number, or they came to that number that they give somehow, but they're reimbursing you for that, for the extra expenses, because you have to take the kids to visits every week. Me, I had to drive all the way into another county for my kids' visits, and then you're required to purchase them so much clothes and hand in those receipts.
Food, you know.
So it's not just
personal items.
Yeah.
Because how old are you able to be? What time do they kick you out of being like program?
So it's 18, I think 18 and a half, but now
Because I've seen some people that are like older, like 20.
Well, so now
21 almost, and they're still in the care of their parents.
Well, now they have AB 12, where if you age out at 18, they give them like 800 and something a month, as long as they're in school or have
$100 a month.
Yeah.
What's that going to help them with?
If they age out, it helps them.
With what?
With living expenses.
$100 a month out here in California.
800. It's like
8. Okay, cool. I said 100 a month. You said yes. I'm like 8. Okay, 8.
But what the counties are doing now, because they did this to my foster child, is they return them 6 months before they turn 18.
Right.
And then they don't have to pay those fees, which is not nice. I don't think. To remove somebody all their life and then give them back 6 months before they turn 18.
Okay.
You know?
That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense, because I was like, wait, what? That would have been a lot. They could have get themselves, a lot, but kids don't think that way when they're that young.
Right.
But $800 a month, they would have been able to get themselves, at least not here in California, but probably not here in San Diego. Maybe if they go a little bit more northeast, they go, more up in those spots, they probably could. Like, for the further away you are from the water, the more cheaper it is.
And that's fairly new. So now they do provide for kids that age out of the system.
And Tahoe, what do you guys do in Ohio? You know what? Let me drop a link again. So whoever wants to pop up can. Whoever wants to pop up, this is fully open panel. We're talking just about the boys and things like that. I am going to pop up on here after, though, because I've came across a lot of children. Oh my God. I'm going to say abuse, but they end up hitting their demise in such a small period of time here all around the US. It's like I can't even put them all together. And it seems like it's just from the beginning of this year, and some are like the tail end of last year. And I'm just like, wait, we gotta COVID-19 people should be happy, So I think it's like a trail of that's like kind of falling off on the kids end, because it's so many kids that they're finding in microwaves, ovens, bags, just all types of, I'm just like, whoa. Like, it's like, or it's like that, but it's because the mom or the dad during that lockup period is what it sounds like was with their opposite or their other cheating partner, and ends up being there, and they're cheating with, getting rid of the extra person. Like, it was just so many things that I've been seeing coming back to back on my timeline. I'm like, I just saw this story, and I look at the story, it's basically the same story, but with different people. And I'm like, what's going on? Is this like a trending thing to, if you have murder in court, things on your background that you're cool? Like, no, it's not. I don't know. What were you going to say, Jeanette?
No, that was it, really. Let's
see what this says right here. It says each set has a designated county where children, the county is okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. And it is like that. Everywhere is different. I am going to continue the video that we were watching, and I may pause it so we can talk about it, but here we go.
Before his arrest, 17 News tracked down Trezell West at a post office in Edison. He took off in an RV west of Bakersfield, and that's when police caught up to him and made the arrest. For 14 months, people asked, where are the boys? Now they were asking something different.
The question is now, where are the boys' bodies? We want to be able to bring.
Did you hear that? When they got caught? They're saying they caught them. They went as far as to get I don't want to say SUV because it's not SUV, a camper to run off with these boys because they knew. That's when they caught them. They knew they were trying to leave the state. You guys don't think that they had eyes on you guys the whole time? That's when they were going to leave the state to go finish off whatever they needed to do. And
well, they were trying to move to Cal City to be off the grid, right?
Yeah, they didn't say that, but that's what kind of they were hinting to the lady that was going to buy stuff, buy the house and stuff, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So let's continue and we'll have our but just keep this point on your mind.
Bring them home and, give them a proper burial.
Trezell and Jacqueline West pleaded not guilty.
It feels good, though, to see them sitting there handcuffed in those brown suits or whatever. That's where they belong.
The trial went on for.
You know what? I really do give it to her. Roro has been a soldier. I'm saying, man, like for real. Like if I was missing, I want her to come look for me. I want her to come find me and be behind me in my camp. Like she was for real. She was like, I'm gonna see this out. Like forget all of that. Like I don't care what y'all got going on. I'm focused on this. This is what we're doing. Like that's it. Period. Point blank. Period. I'm going to keep going until we find them. And I still don't believe she's going to go past this point until she actually finds their bodies and are able to bring them to rest. Because to me, I'm still not okay. Still feeling like they're not resting. But they're babies. So it's like, play right now. Play right around. But when we find y'all, just be ready to find out that we have all been here to rest for you guys. We've been all here to back for you guys. And just to get your little check on there, like, yes, we cool with them, God. You good, They've been riding for us from day one. I just want these kids to be, I'm hoping, and I know it's far reach, but I hope that I just see one day on news, like both of them, older and brother, walking out like, this is what we were doing the whole time. Was in the living room. Like, I just pray that they're both alive. That's what I pray for.
That's where I don't have like a complete sense of justice in the case.
Me neither. I need a body. I'm okay with now, but it's just like, I need that finalizing, okay, baby boys, I'm going to stop fighting for you type deal. Like, because I can't. Like, I feel okay knowing that they're going to do something, but it's just like, where are you, though?
It's important to know where your loved one is resting.
Right. And it hurts. It does. Even though I never met them, like, I hope there is a chance to where I can. Because, I mean, they're so adorable. I feel like they could have lived an amazing life, Been with their mom, go with their mom through her journeys in life. And it's always nice to have your baby boys next to you. I have a son and he's so sweet. Like when he sees me going through things, we're not all perfect. He'll come home, hey mom, he gives me that extra strength. So I can only imagine the strength they can give her, if she opens the door one day and, she just sees them run up at her. like driveway or something. I don't know. I just picture it being like a whole, like, this was crazy going on, but it was all that crazy to bring this to this amazing moment, you know?
Right.
So I just hope.
But I really think they can't tell, because I think one or more of those grandparents know about it and were involved, and there could have been more.
I think that's probably what they keep using against one older, middle to the third kid under, to that whole little situation, like going from the first oldest to the third oldest. I think that at one point, you know how they like them to hit each other and do all that stuff to each other?
Right.
I think they were trying to get one of them to cause the death, so it wouldn't be against them, and they could be like, oh, but look at the prince, this is and this is that. I think that's what they were kind of more aiming for, but once one was already gone, I don't think they would have had the balls to say, keep hitting him while he's gone, keep doing this while he's gone. So they're like, okay, we're done with that one, so let's keep going, you know, like, so it wouldn't be like a stream to where they could say, yeah, my mom, I knew he was dead, and they kept telling me to hit them, and I told them no, because at that point, I think a child would be able to be like, no, like, I knew he was. So it's just kind of like they put the guilt on him to say, well, if you leave, you're going to leave all your brothers here, and they're going to take you, and you're going to be in his situation. We don't know what they were putting in their heads from that point on.
You know, some years back, they had foster parents in the county next to me charged.
Yeah, the ones older before these ones, and then
no, what they were doing is they were having, because you're not supposed to spank your foster kids, so they were having the other kids like exact the punishment. So they would.
That's what they were doing. That's why they told him, "Oh, well, he didn't eat your stuff. You punch him."
Yeah, they'd be like, "Get him, Johnny."
Wow.
So this one foster child was smothered to death because she was being held down by the other ones, but it was at the foster parents. You know, it was that kind of thing, and they did.
So she had the other kids hold that kid down.
I wonder. Yeah, in that case, yep, they were having the kids hold that other kid down and spank them because they couldn't. So, you know, yeah. And they ended up taking all that lady's kids and charging her too with it was a manslaughter also.
Mm-hmm. See, we need to have rules going towards these different manslaughters, you know, like to me, because I know there's certain states when there's a child involved, I think it's 12 and under in a lot of states, you know, it enhances it. So I believe that Buse, and being that they got the charges they got with the underneath, what was it now? See, my body ain't gonna remember. Hold on, let me put it on my thing. You guys can't even see me. I keep forgetting when I take it on and off. There we go, took that out. It's on here. Give me a second, real quick. You guys could probably hear a little as he's back there laughing. I'm probably gonna have to see what he's laughing and take it off, because I'm looking at some of the stuff they be watching. I'm like, I don't want you watching that. Let's see. I see this up close and I can say where's that. Okay, so they like, I don't know. I feel like because I don't work there that I don't know. But I honestly feel like, all right, I'm gonna shut that out. I honestly feel like the way that we are able to take these kids so far and so fast is because of allegedly Miss West, Jacqueline's mother-in-law, worked in the system, and Jacqueline also worked in the system with children, which was the lady that I spoke to and my mother spoke to when another content creator, you know, was telling me, you know, you need to go on and be on YT is how I got onto YouTube. And I'm going to contact her as well and see if she wants to talk about that situation. And, not necessarily on YouTube, so we would not even bring it here because I kind of want to just have like a personal conversation with her because that's what brought me to YouTube because I was afraid to come on here. So we'll see how that goes. And it's not nothing to make nothing sickening or messy or to talk about it on here because I would have, if I wanted to be sick or messy, I'd have talked about it right now. But I just want to know what like her ending thoughts to this is, my ending thoughts, you know, and this has just been a touching thing. So I don't believe the children are alive, especially the first one. The second one, I kind of was like, well, maybe he could have game with like her sister or somebody, her best friend that she got like real close. But just looking at the way they get down, I think that Jacqueline was kind of like the puppet master a little bit. She would make the decisions and he would instill them. And that's why she's kind of like, you know, she's looking. She sees it. She knows like, dang, I got him pulled into this. Like, I don't know. This is just my observation. And then when hers come in, she kind of just like, it is what it is type deal. And I'm just like, I just don't see the motherly love. I don't see you're hurting. You know, I don't see none of that coming from her. Let's see. Madam Oracle says, we have to have hope for these. I do. Until I know that these children are gone, I'm not going to be able to be like, I know that they're gone. I'm not going to be able to do it. All right, let me finish the rest of this video.
More than a month. Witnesses said they hadn't seen the boys for months prior to them being reported missing.
Ultimately, the answer to the question of where are the boys will be answered. It's that they're dead. And at the end of the case, I will ask you to return a verdict of guilty beyond a reasonable doubt as to Trezell and Jacqueline for the murders of Orrin and Orson West.
But the pivotal testimony came from the West's eldest biological child, who claimed he saw 4-year-old Orrin's body at the family's home.
They let him die.
The defense argued that police focused on the West from the very beginning, ignoring other possible suspects.
This was a tragic accident, is what the evidence will show. All right? They don't have an answer for it because it was tragic. But instead, Trezell is here on a murder charge.
We are saying that, honestly, anything could have happened, right? They were abducted. We don't know. And to be quite honest, if we knew the answers to that, we really wouldn't even be here.
The question remains the same. Where are the boys?
That was 17's Alex Fisher reporting.
Hold on. Were you guys not able to hear any of that? Were you guys not hearing any of that? I thought it was on the screen and it's not right now. So I'm like, what happened? Let me see. Let's change the screen video. Were you guys able to hear what she was saying? We couldn't see it, but you heard it but couldn't see it. Do you guys want to hear it with the video, or is that good enough? Because I'm also going to put the video out after I edit it and take me talking out of it. Just what it is. If you guys are comfortable with that, that's fine. If not, we will move it on along. Because I'm like, why couldn't you guys hear what I said? Where you guys at? You could see it. We could hear it, but not see it. So we will move along from it. And the other one, we will fix it up a bit. Let's see where we at.
Alfred and 20's pickup and tossed it inside.
If we knew the answers.
Who claim.
Okay, so I'm going to take it back a little bit and let you guys finish hearing it. And I'm going to shut my mouth, and then we'll talk about it after that. So let me shut my mouth and mute myself. And here we go.
He saw 4-year-old Orrin's body at the family's home.
They let him die.
The defense argued that police focused on the West from the very beginning, ignoring other possible suspects.
This was a tragic accident, is what the evidence will show. All right? They don't have an answer for it because it was tragic. But instead, Trezell is here on a murder charge.
We are saying that honestly anything could have happened, right? They were abducted. We don't know. And to be quite honest, if we knew the answers to that, we really wouldn't even be here.
The question remains the same. Where are the boys?
That was 17's Alex Fisher reporting. Without a body, proving that someone has committed murder is difficult, but it's not impossible. The last no-body murder conviction here in Kern County was the case of Daniel Rhodes. Last year, the Caliente man was sentenced to 40 years to life in prison for gunning down William Alford in 2019. Rhodes admitted he shot Alford after Alford forced his way into his home and threatened him. Rhodes told investigators he loaded Alford's body into his pickup and tossed it inside a large trash bin off Caliente Bodfish Road. Alford's body has never been found. Test results revealed a bullet fragment found at the scene of the shooting had DNA on it consistent with Alford's DNA profile.
Now, when Orrin and Orson were reported missing in 2020, concerned citizens and businesses pledged various rewards that totaled well over $125,000. But it was an unorganized grassroots effort, and there's no evidence that anyone ever collected any money. There were never any consistent conditions on what was required to earn the rewards. At one point, the California City Police Department even offered $25,000 for information leading to an arrest and conviction. Cal City Police Chief Jesse Hightower confirming to 17 News no one ever came forward to claim the award money. And public interest in this trial forced the Kern County Superior Court to accommodate a fervent online audience, and with it, issues of sidestepping court media guidelines. The trial began on March 28th. Those who couldn't make it inside the courtroom could listen in through an audio stream provided by the court. Public Affairs Officer Kristen Davis told KGT that hundreds of people logged in to listen to the proceedings. The number grew over the first 3 days of the trial, reaching nearly 1,800 listeners by March 30th. With this case being highly sensitive, the judge implemented restrictions for what was allowed to be recorded, but some people didn't play by the rules. The court says there were several people illegally streaming the proceedings on other platforms.
The story of the West Boys
All right, well, the story of the West Boys going through foster care and then later on to adoption had many twists and turns. Here's 17's Marco Torres.
Orrin and Orson West, as we know them today, weren't born with those names. Their birth names were Sincere with a C and Classic Pettis. Sincere was born on August 4th, 2016, and Classic was born June 11th, 2017. The boys were born 10 months apart to Ryan Dean and Charles Pettis. When Sincere was 3 months old, according to court documents, he was taken to Memorial Hospital for crying uncontrollably. It was discovered his leg was broken.
I was at work. I noticed my baby cry wasn't normal when I got home, and I took him straight to the hospital, and they say he had a femur bone. His femur bone was broken into twisted forks.
Kern County Human Services suspected abuse and placed him in emergency foster care. A month later, he was placed in an established Bakersfield foster home operated by a woman named Latoya Spry. Dean, his biological mother, visited him multiple times a week as she fought to get him back, according to court documents. 6 months later, Dean gave birth to her second child. She named him Classic. Classic went home with Dean, but 11 days later, he was removed from the home based on suspicions about what happened to his brother. He was reunited with his brother in Spry's foster home. During the murder trial, Spry testified the boys were removed from her home in 2018 after her daughter went to school with a scrape on her leg. Abuse was feared. There never were criminal charges against Spry, but the boys, then about 1 and 2 years old, were removed from her home and placed with Trezell and Jacqueline West.
They got taken from an abusive home and put into an abusive home.
The Wests renamed Sincere Orrin West, and they renamed Classic Orson West. In 2019, the boys were formally adopted by the West family. The next year, in December of 2020, both Orrin and Orson were reported missing by Trezell and Jacqueline West. They were 3 and 4 years old.
So yeah, you guys, I'm going to get on and I'm going to wrap up this case, but there are a couple of cases that I did want to talk about. After this point, Jeanette, are you still there? How come I can't click it? Let's see. Okay, I don't think she's still there because I can't click the button. So I know I'm here by myself. Yes, so we're going to wrap this on up. If you have any questions, you go ahead, reach out to me, Naomi China D, exactly what I'm pointing to, at gmail.com. And I just wish this family the best. I'm going to still be here, right, Val, rocking with you by your side. There are some other co-sings that I have been watching, and I'm like, is this a trail of the ending of the pandemic? Just like when we got into the pandemic, Parpid, started getting more angry with each other. Then it started more diverse things and stuff like that. Now I'm seeing homes with children missing and things like that. So we're going to get on that topic next. I'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. Yeah. Bye-bye. See you later.